It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. Good Lord will get wrecked on the weekly. One do a 10x, the other lost liquidity. Oh, where my MetaMask go? Stole my keys, where my portfolio go? They took my tether, they took my DAI, they took my Bitcoin, I'm about to cry. They took my Ethereum, they took my drip, they took my time wonderland, I'm about to quit.
I can't take this anymore, man.
It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules.
Okay. I need the price to go up. I can't take this anymore. Every day I'm checking the price and it's dipping. Every day I check the price, bad price. I can't take this anymore, man. I have overinvested by a lot.
It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It went to zero. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules. It's a rug pull, I feel like a fool. It's a rug pull, they breaking all the rules.
What's a rug pull?
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I am the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. And man, another amazing banger of an intro video from Coolsheet. Shout out to Coolsheet, he is a long-time community member, and every video he does just gets better and better. So thanks to him for letting us use that as the new intro. We are definitely not a rug pull, but all of us that are here can relate to the meaning of that video. And please go give him some love. Again, it's Coolsheet with no S. And we can post his link as well to his YouTube channel. But thought we'd kick it off today with a little bit of a little bit of fun, a little bit of humor. As always, I'm joined by my co-host with the most, LA. How about that video, man?
That was so good. Oh my god, did you notice that he even had their mouths?
I did. That was
matched
insane.
to the words.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no
that was
doubt.
too good.
Totally.
That was too good.
Yeah, totally. I'm guessing maybe AI, or maybe he did it in editing, but yeah, that was incredible. So again, Coolsheet is always ramping up the production quality and catchiness. The original, or the second song, the bridge song, I literally had it on repeat for like a day. Yeah. But all right, awesome. Well, again, welcome everybody. This is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to go over all the updates of our entire ecosystem. Again, the EMP mothership, as well as L1DEX and Sparkswap. And a lot to go over. The last few have been like 2 hours, so hopefully we cut it a little bit shorter today, but lots to go over. So before we get started, please make sure also to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps us get the word out and play good with, or play nice with the YouTube algorithm. And remember, all ad revenue that we earn from our YouTube channel goes right back to supporting EMP. So, all right, LA, anything you want to say before we jump right in? Or, again, it's been a busy week for all of us. I've been on the AMA train, so LA's been having to hold it down while I'm busy. Yeah, go ahead.
This is what I want to say. AJ is an absolute champion. He has been on the world's longest AMAs all week long. Not only our own AMAs, but these AMA sequences that he's been on from Monday until now every day, they have been twice as long as we expected. And he has been a champion. So Props to you.
No doubt.
Props to you.
No doubt, LA. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's been quite the journey. Like you said, we've been a part of this AMA series, and it's been great. Don't get me wrong. We've had like over 200 viewers on every single one that we've done, but it's definitely a larger commitment than LA and I had both thought it would be. And so yeah, LA is having to hold it down, and of course, it's right in the middle of the day in my time zone. So, but that doesn't matter. Like Ella said, we even when I'm busy, we all get things done, and we've been making major headway moving forward. So, and anything that brings more eyeballs to EMP is well worth the time. So, thank you, LA. I appreciate that. And again, I couldn't do it without you. I know you've been stepping it up while I've been distracted for hours at a time. But all right, well, we're gonna jump right in. We have a really great announcement to make. It's one that we've been working on for a few months now. And again, typically when we announce partnerships, it has to do with revenue share and partner protocols. This one is a little bit different, and this one is I'd say a lot more of a marketing partnership, and just an all around, you know, uh, uh, I dare to even say friendship because this community has been so supportive over the last year and a half. We love the founders; they are some of the brightest minds in the space. And those of you that know who I'm talking about, it is the Pillars. So the Pillars are a great DeFi community that highlight different DeFi projects. And again, we've done AMAs with them in the past. Matt Hatter and David are the two founders, and they always do their due diligence. They always do their research, and we fit very well on a personality level. So this is an exciting, official partnership now that we feel like we've had already, but now it's official. So, LA, before I get into it, you want to give a few words on your personal feeling of what this partnership is and will bring?
Yeah, absolutely. You've heard us say this a lot, and we've heard you guys say this a lot, but you invest in people, and AJ and I have felt this way for a long time. But when you find people that you truly align with, there's no limit to how far you can go, and they're a true testament to like very aligned partnership. um, they truly believe what we believe in regards to we're here to all win together, and they've shown us that. I mean, they've truly exemplified that, and I mean, they think as highly of us as we think of them, and so it's just very clear that it's a very aligned partnership. We both want to see each other's communities go far, and to blend the two communities, and so it's going to be a really great relationship. As AJ said, it's going to be very centered around marketing and education of their community, and exposure for us, and a great earning opportunity for their community as well. So I'll let him kind of get more into the details.
Yeah, well said, LA. And again, we drive it home all the time that the best partnerships are ones that both people benefit from. And this is definitely, a two-way street when it comes to pillars and EMP. So, and again, we did this a little short notice. We would have loved to have had Matt Hatter on, but we'll be doing a follow-up AMA. I would love to have them on as well to tell us straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, about what Pillars is. But they're just an amazing group of, again, DeFi users that now will be really championing these protocols that have stood out and have stood the test of time. And so with that, we become what's called a Pillars portfolio partner. And again, it's a very select group of protocols that they actually add to their portfolio. And they have a very unique model, which is another thing I really liked about Pillars, is that they're actually rewarding their community for engagement. And I really haven't seen this in any other group. I mean, obviously these groups, they do giveaways around AMAs or different events like that, but they take it to a whole new level at the pillars where you're actually rewarded based on your contribution level. So writing articles, making videos, just simply interacting in the chat, you earn these certain points, and then these points can be redeemed as basically a revenue share from the portfolio partners. So we've given a 10,000 Spark allocation and a 20,000 EMP allocation to the pillars. However, again, we would never give native tokens away just for somebody to sell and dump on our heads. So we have a commitment from them that they are using the Spark and Sparkler to generate yield and participate in the ecosystem the right way. And then that is what will be rewarded to their community. And then with EMP, again, they're going to go all in to Fusion and use that as a revenue stream to support their community as well. So I just want to make it perfectly clear, those token allocations came from the Treasury, and actually even the Spark side was from me personally, just because we really want to support them. And again, it's about getting more users involved. So if you're actually earning LP in pillars, obviously you want to know what to do with that reward token. And so we're gonna have an ongoing educational series about how they can utilize their rewards within our ecosystem rather than selling it. So again, we just couldn't be happier to work with them. It's been a great two-way street with support and exposure from both sides. And again, they take the extra step in really caring about educating their community. And as all of you know, education is a big part of what we do. And LA, I think you are going to be on tomorrow, and then I know I will be on in about a week or two about like actually not even about EMP. I'm going to do a fireside chat about the crypto markets overall, and I believe you're going to be involved with women in crypto, right?
Yeah, you just dropped a little alpha there.
Uh-oh, all right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Nice. Well, yeah, I'm always one for ruining the surprise, right?
I at 3 tomorrow, 3 Eastern tomorrow, I'll be doing an AMA with a few of the other ladies in there tomorrow. And I didn't even know about your fireside chat either. That's exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. So Matt Hatter and I, we're working out again. I mean, obviously, we want to have this partnership be about promoting EMP and Spark and L1DEX, but I'm also excited to join as just another crypto veteran and offer some insight, without having to quote unquote sell EMP all the time. So. All right.
Love it.
Yeah, awesome.
And one thing I did want to mention is that along with this new partnership, we are going to be doing at least one AMA every month in the group. And so we're going to be able to dive into and focus on promoting at least one major thing that we have going on in our ecosystem every month within their community. And I do want to just say, they have a good sized community, but regardless of how many people are in their community, we've always had some of the best show up rates on AMAs with them, even more so than communities 10 times the size. We've had more people show up at their AMAs and be engaged and ask more questions. So it's a true testament to their system and the way that they do things. It really does work. And it brings people that are genuinely interested and excited to be there and engage and learn. So it's really exciting to get to spend more time connecting with them moving forwards.
Yeah, no, I love it, LA, and that is a really important point to wrap things up. I mean, there's call groups and private groups and communities that literally have tens of thousands of users, but 99% of them are bots. And the pillars has been so amazing in exactly what Elliot said. Not only the people that show up, the turnout rate is incredible. I mean, our announcement AMA that they promoted like a day in advance had over 100 people that came. And that again just shows the engagement level where we're really starting to target the right kind of users. So, we'll talk a lot more about this as we move forward, especially when we announce Fusion having an actual launch date. The idea is that we are actually doing a lot more targeted marketing to the right kind of DeFi users. And again, the pillars is just the very first step in that rollout. So, yeah, really exciting stuff. All right, anything you want to add more, LA, or any pillars questions? I think David is even in the chat, so shout out to David. And we'll have them on a future AMA to go a little bit deeper on the pillars.
Yeah, so there's a question here in the comments, so I just want to reiterate. So they are going to be investing the entire 10,000 Spark that we gave them into Sparkler at a max stake. And then the LP that they're earning are going to be rewarded to their group participants for completing different tasks in their group. Now, a big focus of their group is on education. So they're really going to be educating their community on how to invest into our protocol in a way that's healthy for the ecosystem, and encourage their community members to invest wisely. They're really big on education, and they would never encourage their community members to do anything that wasn't healthy for the ecosystem. So I just wanted to reiterate that, and shout out to David, who's actually on the stream and in the comments right now.
Perfect. Yeah, sorry, LA. I had some technical difficulties here. Yeah, absolutely. And again, please join their Discord, get to know them, put your brick in, so to speak, get to get familiar with what they're doing, and you could even earn, again, some of that reward for being, producing content around all that they do. So, all right, awesome. Then I think that's great. I think we're going to move on to the next topic today. Again, we appreciate all of you that come to the AMAs. I know the last few have been absolutely brutal, but a lot of great info. Very long, but today should be a little better. So, all right. This again, I want to start by just kind of prefacing something. This next segment is going to be about L1X and L1DEX. And before we really get into it, I just want to say, nothing about what we're about to say is meant as FUD. I know a lot of people like to take words that we put out, or and try to turn it in a negative way. We have been building nonstop with L1X. L1DEX is a giant undertaking. There are a lot of things that again we're not in control of, because we are a separate entity. Even though we work directly with L1X, obviously we're not founders and we're not creators of the chain itself, and so we have to work around what we're given. And I know that the timeline could get frustrating. Obviously, anytime you're developing something, and especially something that's pretty groundbreaking in terms of tech, obviously there's going to be some bumps in the road. So I just want to preface everything by that. There is no FUD. We're working together still. Everything is moving forward, as fast as it can. L1DEX will be everything that we hope it will be, and then some. It just, again, there's a lot that happens between two major teams building a brand new startup blockchain with groundbreaking tech, admins and communities that need to be in the loop, and sometimes it can be difficult to get everybody on the same page. But that being said, because we are as transparent as humanly possible, we want to go through a few things again, the best to our ability based on the information that we have right now. So, LA, can you start this off real quick and then I'll fill in as we go?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, if you just go through the first two and then I can pick it up from there. I want to make sure I got the Discord muted. I know it's acting up in the background. So, all right, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're still waiting for full confirmation from the L1X team that the public sale tokens are ready for claiming. We were told that all the buyers would be granted full access about sorry. So on Sunday night, they had given us notice that within 72 hours, all public sale buyers would have full access. So it has been 72 hours or more now. I did check in and I am waiting for confirmation of whether or not everyone has access yet. I haven't yet received that confirmation. As soon as I have, or I have any updated information, I'll make a post and pin it in all of our groups. So please make sure that you've joined the L1DEX group though. I see a lot of people asking about L1X and stuff in the EMP group, which is fine, but the EMP group has a lot more pins than the L1DEX group. And so if you want to quickly and easily find the links and stuff that you need, please join the L1DEX group because they're going to be the most recent, easy to find pins, whereas the EMP group is going to have information about EMP, Sparkswap, L1DEX, BattleBots, all these recent things that we've been pinning, and it's going to take you 10, 15, 20 pins to sort through to try and find the information you're looking for. So please join that group and it'll be a lot easier, because if you're saying in the EMP chat, hey, what's the link to claim L1X tokens or coins, you're going to get 20 scammers DMing you fake links, and that's what we don't want. So make sure that you join that group. So as soon as I receive any confirmation, I will absolutely post that and pin it. Now, the second thing is on Monday during our call with them, we followed up about the videos that they're making for everyone, and they are in the process of creating 2 tutorial videos for all of you guys. One on how to claim if you are in the pre-sale with us, and one to claim if you are in the public sale with us, because the processes are slightly different. And so these are going to be in real time, slow, full walkthrough tutorials on video, screen share, all of that. So I have been told they'll be ready within the next couple days. So as soon as I receive those will be posted and pinned everywhere as well, and you'll be notified.
Perfect. All right, thanks, Ellie. Yeah, sorry about that. And I can take over from here. So yeah, those are updates again on the token claiming, and obviously we do everything we can to make sure that they have the info they need, but the L1X team still has to go through and verify all the info that we provide. Obviously, everything is on chain as well, and that really whatever's on chain is law. It's immutable. So that's really what has to be double checked. And unfortunately, even though sometimes we're given a timeline, that timeline isn't met. It's out of our control. But we will keep you up to date, keep you as up to date as we possibly can. So, and it doesn't help that that the team is on the other side of the planet from where we are. Again, LA and I are North American based, and them being in Australia. So sometimes dates are a little mixed up, and not only that, but it takes 12 hours to really make sure that we're on the same page anyway. But all right, so the other news is that the L1X swap went live. So I know we had said all along we were working on the L1DEX. The DEX truly is going to be the first decentralized exchange But to have a proof of concept and to build, at least a little bit of initial liquidity, L1X made the decision to launch their app, and part of that app has a swap feature. Once the DEX is live, the volume will be, routed through the DEX as well, and that should also help with the liquidity. So I know the swap is working, but there has been some issues on larger swaps, and some variable fees as well. And we've been reassured that this is simply just a proof of concept, and that you can see that the cross-chain swaps are actually working. But if you're looking to do a large amount of volume, and really use this as your quote unquote bridge replacement, you may want to wait until the L1DEX is able to provide a bunch of liquidity, and the fees are a little more appropriate based on slippage and price impact and different chain fees. And so you can also see an announcement on that in the L1X chat as well on their Discord. So again, just keep in mind that regardless of whatever the app says about swaps, that sometimes there's a lot that has to be in place. The infrastructure, the explorers, consensus mechanisms, nodes, oracles, multi-sigs, SDKs. I mean, there are so many things that we from L1DEX have to kind of wait on when the app itself, obviously is built by the actual development team of L1X, and they can, actually put things in motion faster than we can. So those are the kind of things that we have to wait on. And eventually, when L1DEX is up and running, we're just like any other protocol building on top of any other chain where we are in control of our own destiny. And obviously, that is supporting L1X because we've made the decision not to use a secondary token. All rewards and all transaction fees will be conducted in L1X, which is super bullish for the whole ecosystem, and we are super bullish on L1X. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, nothing is ever meant to be FUD, and we have to be as transparent with all of you as we can. But this is a giant undertaking, so we're making major headway. Again, L1DEX is very close to being finished. We're waiting on a few key pieces of infrastructure to move forward. And again, liquidity is also really important. So, we don't want to be crushed with potential sell-offs, without that deep liquidity. So, all this stuff has to happen, before it's all systems go. And L1X is even tradable. So, as it relates again to the DEX, the liquidity will be routed, like I said. The current raise that they're doing, and again, we've said this a lot, is that the APR is not as attractive as it will be on the DEX, and I think that's probably one of the major reasons that there is not a lot of liquidity at the current moment. But we will have a way to solve all of that. As you know, I mean, even launching Sparkswap, we were able to get literally millions in TVL in a matter of weeks. So we think that that will be much more, even more robust when it comes to L1X and the tech that we have behind it. So the objective is to still build a game-changing exchange, and all of that will happen. We just need to get there. So everything else, again, audits, the full blockchain repos and Explorer, there's all of that is still coming, and what we have to work through. It's not just a simple app, and we have to have everything ready to roll. So in any case, I think no matter what, we'll have the first mover advantage with L1DEX. Again, we're we always knew that other DEXs would eventually build on L1X as well, but being the premier DEX and having that first mover advantage is really what matters. And we just want to try to temper everybody's expectations in terms of the delivery until we have everything we need to complete our mission 100%. So I hope that helps kind of give everybody a bit of a background. We're still moving full steam ahead. There's an entire development team. Again, Dex Finance. They're working on all of this daily with the L1X team, and it's just bit by bit. So, LA, anything you want to add to that? I know, again, trying to be as transparent as we can be.
I think you hit all the major points, so I'm not really sure what else I'll add to that.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, hopefully that clears that up for a lot of you. And we will, again, when we have a lot of things to update, we will be doing AMA with L1X as well. And again, once we have a better idea on everything rolling out, we'll keep you updated. And at the very least, just remember too, um, until it's the experts and the expats program, there's really not much you can do with your L1X. So nobody's really losing out by not being able to claim right now. And obviously, we've also made a commitment that even if everything was 100% ready tomorrow, we would not launch L1DEX until we knew that everybody had access to their L1X tokens. Because with the DEX, you will be required to put up some L1X in order to get into the liquidity pairs. Again, that's just the way the balancer pools work. So, and everything I say, might be subject to change. So please, again, take it with a grain of salt. But we are definitely making headway and getting super duper close. So, all right, I think that was all my notes. LA, any questions specifically, or you want to wait until the very end?
I don't see any L1X related questions, so I think we can move on.
All right, perfect. So the next update is the Treasury bonds. So as a lot of you know, we've been promoting these EMP Treasury bonds quite heavily. The sale ended yesterday, and we were able to raise just over $100,000. So it fell a little bit short of our hard cap, but nonetheless, 100 grand is 100 grand, and that was very awesome for us and for all of you. And we will be putting that to use. Again, not only guaranteeing the 60% APR, but also hopefully yielding much more than that to support EMP Fusion and everything that we're doing. Now, just to give a few updates, again, because we didn't sell all of them, doesn't mean that we can't honor what we said. It had nothing to do with the amount that we sold, so everybody will still be getting the 60% APR. Whether we had sold one or all 2,000, no worries on that front. Rewards have already started to be accrued, so we have the marketplace finished. Again, there was a few things that final little last minute adjustments we needed to do, but everything is working as it should. And we'll make it an official announcement on Monday, but I believe that we are going to airdrop a new NFT. So I'll give a full breakdown once we make that decision. Again, it'll be 1-to-1 based on whatever NFTs you bought. And there's nothing you have to worry about as an owner or as a user. It made it a lot easier from converting the original VIPs that we talked about in many of the AMAs over. It makes it easier if we do a fresh mint now that everybody has had a chance to get their tokens. But everything is accounted for 1-to-1. And again, we also may, because we didn't meet the hard cap, we'll have additional NFTs that we can potentially sell through the Treasury as we go. So I'll make an official announcement again on that if we do go that route. But in terms of yield and what all of you that bought NFTs need to worry about is everything is working flawlessly. And again, within hopefully the next 24 hours, the marketplace will be live, and you could potentially buy. I don't know if anybody's gonna sell, especially in the first month or so. But you could potentially buy some NFTs off the marketplace if you ended up missing out. So just to reiterate, you can enter your wallet on EMP.Bonds.com and click the profile tab. Then that's where you'll be able to see in real time the current value of your NFTs, the amount of NFTs you have, and the principal and the interest. So the way that we did these NFTs, they will not show up in your MetaMask. If you go to like an NFT trade, or OpenSea, they should show up in your in your profile. But remember, we're trying to keep the secondary markets out. That's why we've disabled transferring on the NFTs, and really driving everybody to EMPBonds.com. That's a safety measure as well, so you're not getting scammed, with some made up NFT that looks like ours. It's also a way that we ensure nobody is being undercut, and we get the fees for anybody that is selling early. So again, just everything you need to see will be in your profile page on empbonds.com. And I already looked at it today, and you can see even at the bottom of the page, everybody who bought an NFT has already earned about $1 in interest. So again, it's being calculated in real time. So everything else is good to go. And again, on Monday I'll have a little more info just to let everybody know how we actually did if we're gonna do the another mint. So all right, LA, does that help bring
Yeah.
it in? Anything I confused people on more, or I don't know if you want to clarify, but yeah.
No, I checked mine out today. It was pretty exciting, just to watch it in real time. And it does show you also the full amount of interest that you have the potential to earn from all of from the full number of NFTs that you purchased
Yep.
if you hold on to them for the full 12 months. So you get to see it interest only what you can earn as well. So it breaks it down in a number of different ways, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt. I know that was one of the features I liked. Again, it shows you that light at the end of the tunnel. 1.6x on your USD is USDC is pretty amazing. So yeah, and again, we encourage everybody to hold for the year. But if you do need to sell early, or if you have missed the NFT mint, that's another thing. We're going to be promoting the marketplace from here on out. So again, if you didn't have funds ready in time, there still is opportunity buying the NFTs off the marketplace. You could potentially get 30% APR for 6 months. 6 months from now, or if you buy them in the next month or two, you're still getting almost that full 60% APR. And regardless, you're getting that 5% monthly, depending on however it breaks down. So I think it's going to be really attractive on the secondary market within our marketplace as we move forward too. So, all right. All right. Anything else about NFTs, LA, in terms of what I missed or questions? And then we have two more topics.
Nope, let's move on. Keep on rolling.
All right, awesome. So the next is Sparkswap. Again, the Sparkswap mammoth keeps rolling on. So it's been killing it still. We'll give some updates in terms of yield, but we're extremely close to launching the stable token bridging option. Again, and just to give everybody a little bit more inside information, we're moving very fast. We're actually ahead of schedule in terms of migration and moving everything into being its own DEX. Again, we already have our two pairs now, but we're also going to be migrating all of the LPs eventually, that especially those that are not rehypothecated, to our own LPs. So rather than having to do 10 different migrations, we're trying to roll all of this together to make it as seamless as possible for our users. And again, it's even though it may seem like the stable token option is a little more again delayed, this is because we're doing a much bigger move overall and actually moving ahead of schedule to our own LPs. So, I see it as bullish. Again, once this is finished, then we really are. I mean, we already are a DEX, but this will make it a lot more simple for those that want to, swap between tokens and on our own DEX, and again, a lot more user friendly moving forward as well. So that's exciting. Keep an eye out. Again, the stable token option will again be the plan is to be stealth launched again, and start preparing yourself because there'll be some heavily incentivized farm for providing liquidity. Again, having a deep liquidity on the stable token when you're bridging it is gonna really help with price impact. And so we're gonna reward those that provide to that. So I know everybody's exciting. It won't be long. I promise we're almost there. And yeah, LA, I don't want to steal your thunder. You've been the one that's really been calculating this. So you want to give us the next update? Go ahead.
Sure. I gotta just pull that up because I want to make sure I'm correct.
All right.
Oh, and I did want to just mention, because I know it came up in a previous AMA, we did submit for DEX Screener for them to list us as a DEX. It does just take a little bit of time to get approved, so we will show up there soon. It's just the submittal process, however you say it. I can't talk
Yeah.
properly today, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's totally. Yep.
Yeah, so Sparkler has averaged 1.17% daily APR on max stakes over the last 17 days since the bridge launched. So it is holding incredibly strong APR wise. And we did say that, when the bridge launched, we were going to have a good solid amount of revenue coming in, and it has held strong.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't know how much more bullish it can be. Again, 1% daily is the holy grail, and achieving that without inflation is just unbelievable. So remember that 1% a day is from pure fees or real yield from the protocol, and that's what we're all about. I mean, again, yes, Spark is inflationary at the moment, but as soon as we flip that switch, that is when we're going to see the Spark price in terms of actual token price really could explode. And we don't like to talk about price. We like to talk about, utility and yield. And again, I mean, the proof is in the math. Even at that 1% a day, and this is only with very minimal, revenue streams. In other words, yes, the bridge has been great. Those fees, the swap fees, the in and out fees. But once we have the stable token option, once we have other bridging options, once we have our own LP where we're getting all of the swap fees, not just a portion of them, I mean, you can easily see how this real yield could tremendously increase, and make Sparkler even more attractive, because I think that's another thing people are kind of losing sight of. The quote unquote haters are still focused on our inflation. But you have to understand that the better the yield in Sparkler, the more attractive that becomes. And again, people will actually start buying Spark off the market to go directly into Sparkler. And if you're already in our ecosystem, the idea, again, not financial advice, is that you're earning enough Spark from the farms that you're able to keep up with any dilution that you might have. And as the price of Spark goes up, it's going to get more and more expensive for people to have, the same share ownership in terms of rewards that you do currently within Sparkler. So, the economics are very, very strong. Um, and I think once we start moving away from the inflation, we could see some really, again, I know developers like to call it a flywheel. The flywheel starts to kick in, and it has a major positive price movement and positive yield movement on both Spark itself and Sparkler. So, and really, even from our all-time highs, we're only down about 75%. I know again that might sound like a lot, but we've been ranging in this really great range of about 20 cents to about 40 or 50 cents. And again, I mean, you look at other protocols that have a reward token, they are literally just straight down. I mean, 99% down from all-time highs. So Sparkler is the secret sauce, and it's a real utility for the reward token. And again, I think the more that we collect on fees and share that with Sparkler members, the more people understand that the longer stakes are more powerful. It will have a killer effect on the ecosystem moving forward. So, yeah. All right. The other part of that is that we've designed the protocol where you can take profit in Pulse without ever having to sell the native token and hurting the price of Spark. And again, I know, people like that short-term gratification, a short-term win, but those that understand the power of yield, they get this, and they're already building massive positions in Sparkler where you literally take the Pulse as profit. Yes, it's half of your yield, but even that at what, a half a percent a day, if you break it out by asset, 0.5% daily on Pulse. I mean, give me a break. That's insane. It's literally a Pulse printer at that point, and on top of that, you use your Spark from the LP to go right back into Sparkler, and again help you combat any dilution that you might have from others. So, it's not about compounding into oblivion. It's about how you utilize the protocol to take profit, literally take profit every day, but do it in a responsible manner that still allows you to yield. So, yeah, that's a really important point. And if you don't know what I'm saying or that doesn't make sense to you, please join our Telegram. LA, we have amazing admins, and we post that infinite money generator graphic in there a lot. So yeah, and is there anything you want to add to that, LA?
Man, it's hard to add to you tonight because you're on a roll. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing it right, and when I say right, there's no right or wrong, but if you're doing it the way that AJ just suggested, you're able to take profit and not only keep the ecosystem strong, but you're able to be selfish and win for yourself and for everyone.
For sure.
And this is a place where you can be selfish and everyone can win together, because you being selfish helps everyone win, because you can take profit in PLS, but because you're not selling Spark, you're keeping your own investment strong, because by selling Spark, you're directly causing the price of Spark to go down, which means every future claim of yours is worth less. So be selfish and don't sell Spark, because your future self will thank you, right? And then in turn, you're helping everybody win together. And if we all do that, then we all win.
Totally. I love it, LA. And again, I mean, that is exactly what we all are hoping for. And this economic model is really one of the only ones, again, because we're zero ponzonomics, meaning the yield is not produced, from new entries. The yield is simply produced from volume. Obviously, if everybody stopped using Sparkswap, then that would be a problem. But again, we anticipate getting even more and more market share as we move forward. So, I don't want to, be accused of talking shit about other protocols, but we've seen a lot of other dexes on Pulse even starting to pop up, and I love that. I mean, obviously, the more people building on Spark, the better. I'm sorry, on Pulse, the better. I'm a big proponent of supporting each other. But that being said, even these new dexes, they are having the same issues that all the dexes go through, and we feel like we've really solved that problem with Sparkler and how it relates to the healthy economics of giving the reward token an actual utility. So again, I hope that kind of puts it into perspective. Um, and again, the more people on Pulse, the better for everybody, and we can just continue to drive volume, no matter what pair we're talking about. So, all right. Speaking of pairs, both the Spark PLS, again, our main pair, that farm, and the Spark Goat token, that LP pair, both of those farms are still paying 0.89% APR daily, and it's been 9 weeks since, again, that even the Spark PLS farm. So again, nearly 90% APR a day. I'm sorry, 0.9% APR a day, just under that 1% mark,
Or
yeah,
higher,
or
like
higher.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In the beginning, it was even way more than that. So, yeah, thanks, LA, for clarifying the bare minimum. And going 9 weeks strong, which is just incredible. So those are our two heavily incentivized farms right now. Again, obviously our own Spark PLS LP that will always be the heaviest multiplier. But Spark Goat is also really, really important for the protocol. If you don't know what Goat token is, please listen to one of our other AMAs or go on YouTube or their Telegram as well. But Goat token is a over collateralized quote unquote up token where there's a small mint and redeem fee. But it makes it to where the GOAT token cannot go down in value. Um, again, in terms of Pulse. So by having it paired to Spark, that also drags the price of Spark up with it. So we're heavily incentivizing the Spark Goat farm as well. And if you don't have some Goat token, it's basically a way to own Pulse that also produces a yield, which is just really killer. So again, we have a bunch of AMAs that go over the details of that. So I won't go into it today. But we also have some other bullish announcements, hopefully ready by next week, for Goat token as well, and how it integrates into Spark. We've been doing some behind the scenes testing with the Goat team, and making some major headway on some bullish announcements with that. So, all right, a little more here. Our USDC PLS and our DAI PLS farms are also still paying really well. Again, about 0.3% daily. And again, those farms are important because we're able to rehypothecate those and earn the ink reward. So, if you're farming on PulseX, with any of the pairs that we have, you're literally doing yourself a disservice because you're earning, all the ink rewards, again, if you're in Sparkler, and you're earning the Spark on top of it. So consider moving, any of that LP that you may have on PulseX directly onto Spark. As well for essentially double earning as long as you have a position in Sparkler to go with it. So, all right. Again, just to recap, everything is looking very healthy. We're always going to have that short-term volatility. There will be sellers, there will be dumps. But just like yesterday, a Spark was up about 30% in just a matter of hours. I mean, obviously it's come back down now, but the price appreciation is always awesome to see, but the real secret sauce is again using Spark to produce the yield, and at over 1% a day, I think that yield is pretty damn good. So, all right, LA, anything you want to add to Sparkswap?
Yes, we do have a question. Could you please say what factors you see predicting our Spark token becoming deflationary?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Um, we really haven't put a timeline on it, even internally. It's not like we don't have a metric that we say when XYZ happens, that's when we become, non-inflationary. I think it'll be a gradual effect, and really it's just going to be determined by the amount of LPs and swap fees that we're able to end up earning. So if we continue to scale and get a lot more volume, daily volume, people using SparkSwap to transact, then we can get away from the inflation a lot sooner than later. And what will happen is whatever farms that we have, that rather than earning Spark that's been minted, you essentially just earn a portion of the swap fees. So again, to give a hard example, right now Sparkler gets all the swap fees, but the idea is that if somebody's swapping between p-hex and e-hex, or say p-hex and p-dai, or any PulseChain pair on SparkSwap, half of those fees would go to Sparkler, and then the other half of those fees would go to rewarding the LP providers in that particular farm. So, and again, not every farm will be incentivized. That's another thing to remember. People will be able to add their LP with SparkSwap, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you will have an additional Spark reward on top of that farm. So as we grow, and again, I mean, this is months away or sooner. I mean, again, we don't have a time frame, but it'll be determined on how many pairs that we can put together and how much volume we're doing. I mean, if we're, again, just to give another example, say we were doing, $100,000 a day in fees, obviously we can get away from the inflation, a lot sooner. So, 50,000 of that would be rewarded through Sparkler, and the other 50,000 would just be, either buying Spark. And that's what will happen in the short term. We'll just use the fees to buy Spark and burn it, which will again reduce the inflation until we're really able to flip the switch completely and just stop the new inflation altogether, and then just reward fees. So that's what the internal roadmap looks like.
Awesome.
All right, cool. So last bit here. Again, thanks for everybody for sticking out, and please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, as we go on to our last topic, and that is Fusion. So I know again all of you guys are still anxious to get Fusion out and get new Fusion news. We've said many times that the bridge was the last step before we can get 100% back to Fusion, being the number one priority. And we're that is still the case for sure. We're excited to get the stable token bridging option live, and then literally Jake, our lead developer, will pass the baton to this development team that's been working with us. Again, I think by now it's pretty common knowledge that the DexFi team is the ones that have really been helping us push Sparkswap forward. And then our original dev team that helped us build out Fusion, along with our lead dev, Jake. Again, it's a little confusing because our lead dev is Jake, and the Dex Finance lead dev is Jake as well. But um, uh, our Jake, I call him, our Jake will be back on Fusion 100%. And again, we're hoping that we have some super bullish announcements in the short term um, with that as well. So everything's moving forward. Again, I know that a lot of you, have not been paying attention, and this doesn't go for everybody. This is maybe for those listening to the recording. And obviously you think that Fusion has taken a back burner, but all of this is to make the ecosystem even more powerful. And the reason that we even did SparkSwap was to be a revenue stream back to Fusion and make Fusion even more powerful. So, for those that are still, believe in what we're doing and DCAing, again, yes, EMP is falling. It's leveled out now, but everything that we do is based on what will happen once this again the things are set in motion. And even today, I think from today's prices back to peg, you're looking at almost a 10x, which again, I don't know any other opportunity in crypto that I would be as confident in a 10x from here. So, not financial advice. And again, I know that it can be frustrating to have to wait, but everything is shaping up to make Fusion, unstoppable. And that is really the goal of what we're building and what we, from day one of what we set out to do. So, and with that, again, LA, maybe you can comment on this. When we do finally have a date for Fusion, we will have the the AMA train of all AMA trains. It's like that train that you have to sit and wait for like an hour. Right? That's how much marketing we'll be doing. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. I mean, we haven't even started setting up the AMAs for Fusion yet, and we already have 10 booked and paid for. So, if that's any indication, we will be going ham on this marketing train for Fusion. So, just keep that in mind. I know I've gone over it before, so I'm not going to go over it right now, but it will be a 2-tier approach. We are going to go absolutely wild, and the whole world will be saying the word Fusion.
Yes, I love it, LA, no doubt. And again, that could be on the precipice of the next bull run on top of that, when, everybody's interest is back in crypto anyway. So yeah, we have a lot of plans for that. And yeah, again, if we've proven anything, it's that we know how to launch, an initiative, and it will be all hands on deck when that's ready. So again, we have zero doubt in our minds that you know everything that we're putting together and everything that we've gone through, will be worth it in the end. So. And it'll be everything that we hoped it would be and more. Again, that's a personal guarantee from me. Again, we can't speculate on price. We can't, promise token go up, but I can promise that it will be everything that we, thought it would be and more. So, all right. I think that's pretty much it. Again, like I said, getting back to PEG is really the first step as well. Once we announce the sacrifice date, again, sacrifice is just a fancy word for applying your EMP to EMP Fusion. That will get us the ball rolling, and then getting back to peg slowly but surely, and then having Fusion be fully functioning. So. All right, I think that wraps it up, LA. You want to take some questions? I see a few, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's start with YouTube and we'll get those out of the way, and then we have some on the Discord. Boy, do we have some on the Discord.
Okay.
So, so, and you've touched on this in a number of AMAs. So, let's touch on this briefly tonight. Could we convert the NFT, the Treasury bond NFT, into a fusion battery as an option to convert at the end of the EMP bond contract?
Yeah, so again, this is a good question. It won't work exactly like that. The idea is that you're not converting your NFTs into batteries, but really the other way around, where we plan on having a TradeYield battery where it would basically move your profits into an NFT or into some sort of holding account that represents your quote unquote savings account within TradeYield. So again, we have to work out the details on that. But what it would look like is, say you buy the TradeYield battery, you cycle every $10, and then once the battery power cycles, that $10 is converted into a TradeYield NFT, and then that NFT is what yields, whatever current APR we're offering for TradeYield. So again, we said it many times that the 60% APR is probably the most that we would ever do. So it won't be that high. But again, I mean, if you use it as a savings account, even 20 or 30%, APR on that battery would be massive, and that's again, it will always be in a stable token, so you're not exposed to the volatility of the crypto market. So does that help answer, LA?
Yeah. And just to reiterate, at the end of the 12 months, there won't be any auto compounding option. We did go over that in previous AMAs. You will have to burn your NFT and collect both the principal and interest. And then, as AJ just mentioned, there's going to be that TradeYield battery option that we'll introduce in the future.
For sure. Yeah, and again, I mean, all of it's subject to change. Another way of doing it may be that those batteries will just cycle a little less frequently, where you have to get, say $100 worth of rewards in that battery for it to power cycle, and then you would just be issued an NFT, at that date that it power cycles, and then get paid a year from then at whatever APR there is. So. Again, the beautiful part about Fusion and the batteries is that we have so many options of how to structure it. So, and the fact that, these different smart contracts can work with each other is super bullish. So, yeah, I mean, those are just two really quick examples off the top of my head, but we absolutely have plans for a TradeYield battery.
Awesome. We have one from Silverbacked. Will Sparkswap attract volume from DEX aggregators as a route on PulseChain?
Yeah, Silverback, how are you, brother? So shout out to Silverback. He runs an amazing group and has been a long-time supporter of all of our ecosystems. So yeah, and this is a killer question. So yeah, the short answer is absolutely. There are a few things that have to happen. Again, the number one thing is volume and liquidity. So as long as we can start doing a lot of volume, again, all the sites like Dex Screener and the DeFi Llama, like the reporting sites, once they start picking up SparkSwap as an actual DEX, then the aggregators start looking at it, and as long as there is deep liquidity on those pairs, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely think that we would start that aggregators again, like 1inch, would be able to route the volume to us just like it would route through any other DEX. So yeah, and again, we'll explore those partnerships as well moving forward. We need to build our liquidity and volume first. But yeah, that's a really good question, and the answer is yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to let you answer the majority of this question. I will say that whew, it's something.
All right,
Um,
I love it. Yeah, and here I thought
I want to say
we were gonna have a short AMA, right? LA's gonna give me a
I do
doozy.
want to
Yeah.
say that reading it upset me quite a bit, so I'm not going to answer it because I might get a little snarky.
All right, well I'll try to be professional. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But I do want to say a few things to preface this. A lot of the answers to this question are actually contained right in our very docs that have been on our website for over 2 years and are completely open for anyone and everyone to see at any moment. I also want to see that we don't receive salaries. And if we actually told you what we did earn, some of you may feel extremely upset about the way that you sometimes. Actually, I will continue. Anyways, this person says clearly a lot of people have the same questions about revenue and where the money goes. It is perhaps one of the reasons EMP and eShare are trading at their lows. We have 6 hours left on the bond sale and it's not sold out. Where can we find revenue projections or any projections along with some major ticket expenses? I've been with EMP for a long time. The protocol preaches transparency. Yet we don't have a dashboard with revenue and how much we're spending on salaries and expenses. It's basic stuff that investors look for. We don't want financial advice. We want transparency. Please provide some basic numbers on a monthly basis. The numbers are behind a curtain. Why are they?
All right, so more. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sparky over on Pulse is 8 million TVL. EMP dashboard shows 2 million TVL. Just trying to wrap my head around the fact that a sister protocol has 4x of the mothership. I think seeing treasury balances and where the money goes would be helpful to close the gap and highlight how undervalued the OG EMP is.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So let me break it down a little bit by bit. Again, that was pretty long, and I don't want to skip over anything. But first and foremost, like LA started saying, I mean, we as a team, we don't take salaries. We said this all along that any tokens that we earn, we're participants of the ecosystem, and that is how we are able to earn. Now, there are some expenses that we shave off the top from revenue streams that pay for hosting, pay for any kind of outside development work that we have to bring on. But you got to understand the money has to come from somewhere, and at all costs, we do everything we can not to sell EMP or eShare or Spark, any of our native tokens, to pay for that. And we've been as transparent as we can be, I believe, on all that. And so I do like the idea of some sort of you know, a dashboard or reporting mechanism. But again, you have to understand that that takes time. That we would have to have Jake or another developer build that dashboard. Somebody would have to update that dashboard, once a month or however long. And again, I mean, we're trying to build as fast as humanly possible. And, because we have had a flawless track record and, a reputation that we have upheld, that has been not a high priority in terms of, taking away time from other more important things to do that. Now, that being said, if there is an outcry from the community that wants a monthly report, and that will make people happy, and that will, further prove, that we are acting with good intent, and are not, doing things that we shouldn't be, then absolutely. I mean, again, we can put together a vote in, the socials. I don't know the best way to quantify that, but if that is a reoccurring, question or theme, then by all means, I mean, we would definitely move into that. But yeah, I mean, to say that we are doing it on purpose, that, it's behind a veil, again, we're just moving forward as fast as we can, and, it's definitely not on purpose. But I don't know, LA, you want to add to that or have me clarify
Yeah,
anything? Go ahead.
yeah. Well, a few things. For one, we were extremely extreme. I mean, we've been on 2-hour AMAs, every AMA for the last 3 or 4, explaining in detail with ourselves, with Brian, about exactly how the money is going to be used for the NFTs. 60% is going to be paid to the holders. Beyond that, we're going to build an insurance fund. Once we have a healthy insurance fund built, anything beyond that is going to flow directly into Fusion. On our last AMA, there was a question about what happens at the end of the 12 months with the insurance fund. We fully answered that question if you're curious about that. 0% of that is going to pay any salaries or go to us or any of that stuff. Now, do you want to know why? And I really probably shouldn't say this, and AJ might get mad at me, but he would never say this. But I'll say this because it shows you what an incredible person he is and how much he truly cares about this. But even when there's not money for marketing in the Treasury, and there's not money, for me to pay my expenses, AJ pays for it out of his own pocket because he cares about the protocol, and he cares about me, and he cares about, all of us being able to succeed and win. So, that's not going to be listed in a spreadsheet because that's not coming out of the Treasury expenses. When all this stuff happened with Level X, AJ's paying for the compensation plan for that out of his own pocket. That, I mean, like, all of this stuff, like, we're I mean, that's not coming out of the Treasury's funds. Like, I get upset about that stuff because I know how much he does that he'll never tell you guys about, because when you think there's a curtain, it's because he's humble and he doesn't want you to know all the things that he does that are so beyond what he needs to do to be great.
No doubt, LA. Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, we said it from the very beginning. EMP was never started to get me, myself, my friends, our devs, to get people rich. And unfortunately, that is the scenario in DeFi right now. Is that if it's not a flat out scam or rug pull, it's a way to get the guys at the top, paid. And that has never been the ethos here. We never had a pre-sale. We've bootstrapped everything that we've done. Yes, do we reward our VIP members? Absolutely, but that's because the VIPs are not dumping on our heads like other protocols. So, you can't have one without the other. And, again, if I have to float, some marketing expenses, like Ellie said, I'm happy to do that because I care about this community. We have suffered over the last 2 years with, one of the worst bear markets we've ever seen. And, even through that, we've continued to thrive and grow. I also say many times on AMAs, we may not get it right 100% of the time, but we learn from any mistakes that we do make. Again, we've never had an exploit, so even if it is a mistake, it's not something that's catastrophic to the ecosystem. And we're continuing to build and put together the infrastructure that will have a full recovery. Once fusion is here. Again, this person didn't even bring up Detonator Reactor. I'm surprised, but that weighs heavily on our mind as a team as well. Obviously, we're making these changes with fusion to be able to resurrect all the detonator and DAAS contracts to come back. And, it is a major commitment. Again, both myself personally, LA personally, Jake personally, everybody that's part of their core team now. I mean, we are definitely not doing it for the money, I can tell you that much. And we do it because we care and we really want to have a safe place in DeFi that we can all benefit from once things finally do turn around and move forward. So yeah, I guess that kind of sums up. There was one more thing at the end there I wanted to address. Can you read the last part of that question again, LA?
It was about how the Sparkswap TVL
Yes, that's what it was.
is a lot
Perfect.
higher than
Yes,
EMP
thank
TVL.
you. Perfect, LA. Yeah. So yeah, that was the last thing I want to comment on. So again, and this is something else that we said in a lot of AMAs. TVL is very misleading, and we like to use TVL, because it's a very sexy, metric. I mean, at EMP at one point we had a $50 million TVL. But again, it can be misleading. And in the case of what this person was, mentioning, where EMP being at 2 million and Sparkswap being at 10 million or 8 million, again, that factors into all the farms. So there's people that have millions of dollars in the farms with other assets that aren't even native assets that EMP doesn't have. Again, we only have the two native farms at EMP. So that's the number one thing. I mean, that's probably $4 million of difference right there. And secondly, it has to do with the token supplies themselves. So Spark already is a higher supply than eShare, and because of that, that's a lot more TVL, even though the token price is less than eShare is. So there's a lot of factors that go into TVL. If anything, I would say I would be bullish to see the TVL of SparkSwap higher because that means there's more fees and more revenue that's being generated to go back into EMP. So again, it's a matter of perspective, I guess. And I'm not here to defend. Again, I don't want it to come across as hostile. But a lot of things in that comment, are not taking in the big picture of what we're doing. And I think that asking questions like this is healthy. But 99% of what was said is either not true or spinning the truth in a way that fits a certain agenda. So yeah, I don't know. Elliot, is there anything else you want me to mention? Yeah, okay.
There's still $1.8 million of liquidity in the BSC side of the EMP ETH LP, and that really shows
For sure.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, that liquidity is king. And the fact that we're this far down, and we still have that amount of liquidity, just shows, how much people do believe in what we're doing. Um, and again, I mean, I think that I don't ever want to be the person to say I told you so, but come next year and the next pull run and everything's firing on all cylinders, I really feel it will be a mega I told you so, moving forward. So
The funny thing is 1.8 million is more than a lot of DeFi projects had in TVL
at the
back
height,
2 years
yeah,
ago.
exactly, at the height of their success, yeah, exactly,
Yeah, so I think we're doing all right here.
for sure.
Okay, this person has a second question. What percentage of the Treasury money was given to the master trader to trade with, and how much USDC value did that represent? Over what period of time was that money allocated, and how much USDC value did the EMP ecosystem make during that time? How much of the Treasury USDC value will the master trader continue to trade with going forward?
Yeah, so it's very fluid. The short answer is the original amount that was allocated, it was done in stages. So we talked about this a lot in, some of the AMAs with Brian, but I put my personal funds up as a test to begin with, and then we slowly started scaling the treasury funds as well. So, it started low, but as we continued to have success, um, we scaled up. So I think overall it was about 500K that we had, that Brian had under management, and turned that into 1.7 million. And again, rather than providing exit liquidity for everybody, we mentioned this specifically in other AMAs as well. The idea is that we don't want to just start buying back EMP. Again, we saw this happen, a few months ago when there was a coordinated peg recovery around the Sentinel NFT launch. And you can see in the chart, we had a massive run up and then everybody dumped on our heads. And we learned at that point that, it is a long-term approach where we can't just artificially get back to peg, throw a bunch of money at the problem, quote unquote problem, and hope that, the community takes it from there, and that, things are able to rectify themselves. There has to instead be a very methodical approach at how we do things. So, that I think the frustration from the community is, well, you have this massive treasury. Why are you not, buying back EMP? And the answer to that is patience. I mean, again, once we are ready to implement fusion, to have a sacrifice phase, to get everybody, out of that prisoner's dilemma where we're worried about people dumping on our heads, and leaving the protocol with all of that value. We are going to reward those that have stuck it out, and that support the protocol moving forward. And so, again, I mean, you may not agree with that mentality, and that's okay. You don't have to stay. So those that are dumping now, are the ones that don't deserve the gains anyway. And again, that might not be what everybody wants to hear, but that's part of our long-term, approach. So to answer the question, again, it wasn't all at once, but it was about 500K. That's been turned into 1.7. Again, Brian is still managing that, and that we still have funds outside of that, but the vast majority is in there because that's what's yielding the most for us. But you have to realize, and we said this again in the AMAs, that the fund is never 100% at risk. So, again, leverage trading, people have this misunderstanding or misconception that leverage trading is very risky. And if you don't do it right, it is 100%. But if you're leverage trading on smaller amounts of money, so again, rather than going, 2x leverage on, 100 grand, you're putting, 50x leverage on 10 grand. That is a lot less risk because if you do get liquidated, you're only losing 10 grand instead of 100 grand. So even though we do have a lot of funds, with with TradeYield, the entire treasury is never at risk, based on one particular trade. So I don't know. I hope that answers it. LA, is there anything you want to add to that or anything I missed?
I'll just add that on our last AMA, Brian did a really thorough answer of that question as well. So if you want to go into that any further, I did ask him that, and he went on that question for quite a while. So go back and listen to that if you want to hear further breakdown.
Yeah, and off the top of my head, I don't have, exact percentage allocations. But like I said, the vast majority is with TradeYield, but we do have reserves in other wallets. Again, everybody thinks we only have one Treasury account. We have a few Treasury accounts, and some of them we've said all along that we're not going to disclose, just for an added level of protection and security. So, we have ETH reserves. Again, being that EMP is paired with ETH, that's our main LP. We do have, quite a bit of ETH as well. So, there's a lot of things that play into it. And it's hard to give these concrete answers sometimes. And I think people just, they want to, for lack of a better word, go on a bit of a witch hunt. But we've proven, even without being as transparent as we are, I think our actions speak louder than words, regardless. I mean, we've been as forthcoming and as supportive as we could be for literally the last 2 years. If we wanted to rug or do anything malicious, it would not be now. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, totally.
Okay, awesome. Do you think Fusion will go live before the end of 2023?
Yeah, I mean, I sure as hell hope so. That's all I can say. I know, we get in trouble for even alluding to dates. But yeah, I mean, if we're not live by the end of the year, it will be a major disappointment for everybody involved. But we're doing everything humanly possible to launch ASAP. So again, LA gets mad at me, but hopefully I didn't say too much, LA. Yeah.
I mean, the answer to that is at this point, we can't really say. We don't know. It depends on what happens when the developers finish off those final steps. I mean, I know that's not what you want to hear, but
For sure.
that's all we can say at this point. So, another one, and I think this is our last one. Does anyone have concern about legacy EMP protocol like Detonator, EMP, eShare price? All I see is talk about new stuff like L1DEX, PulseChain, Sparkswap. I love this question because they always ask the same question. The people who, I guess, haven't been listening to our AMAs.
Yeah.
Is it dead?
Is
Is
it
it
dead?
dead?
Is it dead? Yeah. Yes, is it dead?
Yeah. Okay. About Detonator, even I compound every day without claiming. The burst is getting lower. There's no way I can ROI. So can you go into that?
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
about getting back to peg and whatnot.
Yeah, 100%. So, and again, for those that don't have a time to listen to the AMAs, hopefully we can just clip what I'm about to say, and we can post this every time somebody asks. So, we have not forgotten about Detonator or any of the other contracts that are built within, legacy EMP. Nodes, power-ups, all of the NFTs, everything is completely contingent on how the protocol is performing overall. And so, when the price of EMP goes down and the price of eShare goes down, obviously the yields are going to go down with them because it's determined based on, the token price. So, and even the power ups. I mean, the power ups have been paying incredibly well. I would venture to say that people have probably ROI'd or at least been close to fully ROIing on the power ups already. But now with EMP being down as much as it is, the APR is pretty bad because, again, the price of EMP is down. But all of this is fluid, meaning, when people say I'll never ROI, well, what do you mean? Like that sentence doesn't even make sense because ROI is determined. It doesn't have a time frame on it. I mean, and obviously we're not saying, you're gonna ROI in 30 years. I mean, again, people say that too, and poke fun at current rates. But the whole idea is that, unless you sell, those are unrealized losses, and so we are putting in the steps to resurrect all of the secondary contracts. So let's talk about DAAS specifically. Um, and we've said this on many AMAs, but I'll go over it again. We are not only are we basically cutting off the bleeding because you'll no longer be able to claim from DAAS products and sell directly. You'll be claiming the same amount. You're still going to be claiming whatever your ownership is. Um, but rather than dumping it on all of our heads, you claim it into Fusion, and then that will be a way for you to take profit uh, in the ecosystem. So, even if you were quote unquote bad actor and you're claiming every day from DOS products, you would go and claim and have it go right into Fusion, and then you can cash out of Fusion through a battery. Again, it adds another step, you know, I fully understand that, but that added step, will hopefully mitigate, a lot of the selling pressure that we've seen. So we're attacking this in multiple ways. We stop the bleeding by doing that, and then we implement a V3 detonator or DOS product V3, which will highly disincentivize those that claim more than twice a week. So right now, as it sits, if you're claiming every single day, you're reducing your ownership, but it doesn't have as harsh of an effect as we would have hoped. And so with V3, every day that you claim, other than the first 2 days, again, we always said recommend the 5-2 strategy, which is claiming 2 days and compounding 5 or 6-1, claiming once and compounding 6. So every day that you claim beyond that, you'll be taxed progressively more and more. Where on the seventh day, if you claim 7 days in a row, you'll be getting taxed 100%. So the idea is that you're not able to claim every day, and then that alone, all the taxes go right back into the pool. So that will help again, reward those that are compounding and not claiming. So this is a very key difference in V3, and then along with the mitigation of people claiming and then just dumping outright. Both of those factors, I think, will be massive. And then when you tie in, again, the third approach is the system recovery. So when you tie in PEG, again, let's just take Detonator, for example, with the EMP ETH LP. If we're doing a 10x on EMP from here when we recover PEG, that is almost, again, the ratios aren't exact, but just for argument's sake, that could be up to a 10x on the rewards that you're currently getting in Detonator. So, again, nothing is dead. At the moment, it might be down, but something that's down is not dead. And we have every intention of doing everything humanly possible to resurrect them once Fusion is live. And furthermore, the DOS products may be a very, very good way to DCA into your ownership of Fusion. In other words, you may be able to win some lotteries or largest depositor prizes and actually gain more ownership in Fusion than if you would have just put EMP directly into Fusion. So that I think is also part of the game theory of resurrecting the attractiveness of DOS products. So all right, I think that covered it all. LA, again, anything I missed or anything you want me to add?
No, you did great. And just to say, we're always willing to answer the hard questions, even if you guys are coming at us. So feel
For
free to
sure.
ask away. We're here, we're transparent, and we're always here for you guys. So I do want to give a big, big shout out to all you guys who are here, who are amazing, who are always just such great, supportive, amazing members of this community. You guys all matter. We value you so incredibly much. Showing up makes a difference every single day, not only to us, but to the other people in the community, more than you even probably realize. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. We always look forward to seeing you, and we'll be back on Monday.
I love it. Yes, LA, no doubt. So again, thank you all for being here. Like LA said, it was not too bad. We're what 20 minutes ahead of schedule compared to our recent run of AMAs. So not too shabby, right, LA? Uh,
Yeah, you made me giggle with that.
yeah. So, all right. Well, again, and I would do, 4-hour AMAs if that's what the community wanted. I'm happy to do it. Again, LA and I don't want to speak for LA, but LA and I are committed as ever, as well as Jake, to bring all of what we've said to life. I know that it may sound like I have an answer for everything, but that's just because we are literally, inundated in this. Like Ella and I, we're putting in 12-hour days. We eat, sleep, and drink EMP, Spark, and L1X, and that's because, not only do we love it, but we also want to deliver for all of this incredible community that's been with us from the beginning, and even those that haven't been here from the beginning but believe in, the protocol and what we're putting out there. So shout out to all of you. Much love again for all of you that stuck around. And as Ella said, we'll be giving even more updates as we move forward. And all right, we'll wrap it up. Again, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't get to your question, please feel free to type it in the live chat for next week. Or join our Discord, and we have a dedicated questions channel, so you can ask your question there as well. And we come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. And please make sure, again, to listen to some of the recordings. That really helps our view count and get the word out to everybody about EMP. So, all right, thank you, everybody. Much love. Good night. Good day. We'll see you on Monday.